Check, we were talking about overcoming addiction. According to a U.S. national survey, nearly 49 million Americans, believe it or not, age 12 and older, are battling a substance use disorder or addiction. Now, studies show that young people and those with mental health disorders are more at risk, but environmental factors and genetics can also play a major role. Joining us now is Adi Jaffe. Adi, thanks for being here. We know that you're an addiction expert and you're the author of Unhooked, Free Yourself from Addiction Forever. So first question to you. We know that addiction is regarded as usually a severe substance use disorder. As a young man, you battled your own addiction. Can you tell us more about your experience that inspired you to write this?
Yeah, absolutely. As you pointed out, I struggled with methamphetamine and went to rehab when I was younger in my early and mid 20s. And what happened after that is I actually ended up in pursuing my master's and PhD in psychology, and that taught me so much about ways to address addiction that I didn't see in the field, and it's that that inspired me to write this book and my other book.
So in your book, you talk about how to identify the so-called hooks that can trigger addictive behavior. Give us an example.
Yeah, absolutely. I call the book Unhooked because a lot of people will say I'm hooked on cocaine or alcohol, I'm hooked on porn or this TV station or show. And what I remind them is that's not actually what you're hooked on. What you're hooked on is the pain relief that coping strategy, the drinking, the late night ice cream eating, or binging porn is giving you. The hooks themselves are old traumas or old learning behaviors and habits that you never really had to deal with, things like anxiety, depression, etc.
I don't want to overgeneralize this next question here, so bear with me, but what is your advice to people looking to get unhooked? What were some of the key tips that worked for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Number one is I think we need to stop looking only at the behavior itself. So many people get caught in this loop where they try to stop themselves from the habit, they fail, and then it creates massive shame for them over time. The thing is that once you understand that the behavior is actually driven by underlying hooks, those other issues, the earlier issues that have brought on the addiction, you can start looking for those. And they are normally beliefs you have about your life and emotional reactions to those beliefs of life as it's happening around you. Those are actually the hooks that you need to deal with in order to beat your addiction.
It can be tough to talk about. I'm curious, if you know someone, and we've seen the stats, there are tens of millions of Americans going through this. If someone you know is battling addiction, what is the best way you can support them?
This is a great question, and I just want to add to that number, right? 49 million Americans or so struggle with substance use disorders, but that doesn't include behavioral addictions at all, and I think that's important. Technology, work, porn addiction, compulsive eating are not part of that figure. You add those in, you're much closer to 100 million. And so number one, in order to destigmatize it, let's think about a disorder that about 100 million Americans are struggling, right? That's a third of all adults. It's hard to stigmatize something that a third of people struggle with. And I think that's where we have to start, with understanding and normalizing.
What is one key takeaway for everyone watching right now who may be going through this themselves or know someone? What's the key takeaway for people struggling with addiction, the thing that when you look back on your life that you kind of cling to that really paved the way here?
Yeah, I have a pretty simple answer. Find somebody you trust and has your best interest at heart, and start being able to be transparent and tell them the absolute truth. Too many of us hide those underlying hooks, our anxieties, our fears, our insecurities, and by hiding them, we actually make the problem worse. So find somebody you can trust and start being honest with them.
Honesty, always the best policy. Adi Jaffe, thanks so much for the expertise and your time in helping so many people out.